Why did John get into broadcasting?
John was only 42 years old. He had coached for 10 years. I think 7 of those years he had the Raiders in the AFC Championship Game. He won a Super Bowl, but the stress was killing him. He quit because of bleeding ulcers. His wife, Virginia, said, we need you more than we need football, John. And he agreed, and he resigned. Al Davis tried to talk him into one more year, but they gave a press conference, and he said, I'll never coach another game. And he meant it. He was always rumored the first few years to be coaching this team or that team, but he had no interest. He wasn't going to do it. And he didn't know what he was going to do. And his wife, who owned a bar at the time, would come home, and she'd see him out in the back lawn with his 2 dogs watching a soap opera on TV outside. And she said, is this the way it's going to be from now on, John? And he figured he better find something to do. And Barry Frank, the great IMG super agent, came to John with the offer from CBS to do 4 or 5 games. And John said to him, I don't like the TV announcers. They're a bunch of hairdos, as far as I'm concerned. He hated Howard Cosell. He said, these guys, they get so much wrong, and I don't want to be lumped in with them. And, maybe in a few years I'll want to do it, but not now. And Barry Frank was smart enough to say, John, in a few years, they may not want you. And he thought about that. And Barry Frank said, why don't you give it a try? If you don't like it, you could quit. And if you do like it, you can continue to do it. So that's how it got started. And right away, after the first or second game, he knew this is what he wanted to do. He just didn't know how to go about it. And he wasn't getting any help. He had 4 different play-by-play partners that first year. He had 4 different directors and 4 different producers, and no way to get a rhythm. And Chuck Milton, who was the senior producer, was looking at all the tapes, and he told me that, that Madden was always going into the play-by-play guy's territory, but he wasn't giving him any real help either. So Madden just had to figure it out on his own. And if it wasn't for Van Gordon Sauter coming in as president of CBS Sports, a guy who admittedly knew very little about sports, but he knew a lot about talent and a lot about television. He had decided, after seeing 1 or 2 Miller Lite commercials that started running in the middle of 1980, that John Madden was going to be his number 1 analyst.